Hello again. Welcome to Movie Tube. This time we are with you. The 25 best Jack Nicholson movies of all time, ranked from
worst to best.
Here's Johnny!
From Chinatown to The Shining to About Schmidt. This is Movie Tube's ranking of the best Jack Nicholson movies ever. Number 25, Mars Attacks at 1996. As long as you approach Mars Attack, knowing that it will be a silly mix of comedy and science fiction, it is honestly very enjoyable. Number 24, Something's Gotta Give at 2003. Towards the end of the Jack Nicholson acting career, he began appearing in more dramedies and romantic comedies than he had earlier on, when his career was more defined by thrillers, crime movies and hard-hitting dramas. One of those Nicholson rom-coms is Something's Gotta Give, where he stars alongside fellow acting legend Diane Keaton, and not for the first time either. Number 23, The Shooting at 1966. Though it might have taken until the 1970s for the public to finally say, hey, this is Jack Nicholson guy, might be one of the best actors of all time. Nicholson himself was already proving himself one of the greatest in 1960s. It took until the end of that decade for him to become truly famous, though, with films like 1966, The Shooting ultimately helping him get there. Number 22, The Witches of Eastwick at 1987. George Miller's best known for directing all 4 films in the long-running Mad Max series, but it's unfair to say that that's all he's done in his filmmaking career. Beyond Mad Max, he's also made various other, often unexpected movies such as The Witches of Eastwick, which is a unique blend of fantasy and dark comedy. Number 21. Before continue, please subscribe to this channel for more videos and content about movies and series. Movie Tube. At number 21 of best movies of Jack Nicholson stands The Little Shop of Horrors at 1960. It might not hold a candle to the musical version from 1986, but 1960's The Little Shop of the Horror is still a worthwhile watch for fans of low-budget, classic B-movies. It was directed by famed filmmaker and producer Roger Corman, and follows a young man who managed to create a talking plant that begins to demand it be fed human blood. Number 20. Prizes Honor at 1985. In Prizes Honor, Jack Nicholson plays a hitman for a wealthy crime family. He's shown to be a professional and efficient at his job, but things become complicated when he finds himself falling for a woman who might well also be an assassin, putting his livelihood and maybe even his life in danger. Number 19. Heartburn at 1986. In 1986 and 1987, Jack Nicholson and Meryl Streep starred into fairly different movies together, Heartburn and Iron Wheat, respectively. The later was an ambitious but somewhat awkward drama largely set during the Great Depression, and the former was overall a better film, following the rocky relationship that ensues after 2 very different people meet at a wedding and fall for each other. Number 18, Ride in the Whirlwind at 1966. With the same director, genre, and some of the same cast, Ride in the Whirlwind is something of the companion western to The Shooting, They were both filmed back to back and released in the same year, though each had different storylines and characters. Number 17, apologize. The Pledge at 2001. The Pledge is something of the crime, mystery, and psychological drama film all wrapped up into one. Jack Nicholson stars here as soon-to-be retired police chief, who becomes intensively dedicated to finding the killer of the young girl, leading him to become obsessed while putting his life and the lives of others at risk. Number 16, As Good as It Gets at 1997. Of all the late career rom-com dramedies, Jack Nicholson appeared in As Good as It Gets. Might be as acclaimed and popular as they get, given this was the movie that saw him win his third acting Oscar. Number 15, The Passenger at 1975. The Palme Award-winning filmmaker Michelangelo Antonioni is best known for his Italian language films and for making movies that are generally quite obscure and sometimes perplexing. The Passenger showed he could just as easily make a challenging psychological drama with an American actor at its center, Jack Nicholson. Number 14, Carnal Knowledge at 1971. A lesser-known Mike Nichols, movie star Jack Nicholson. Carnal Knowledge was a movie that was very controversial for its time, owing to its sexual content and dialogue, as well as for the title alone. Number 13, A Few Good Men at 1992. It's probably not too bold a claim to call A Few Good Men the most iconic 1990s movie that Jack Nicholson appeared in. He has a supporting role here, but makes every second of his screen time count in this courtroom drama about a military trial involving two Marines being tried for the murder of another. Number 12. Reds at 1981. Over 20 years before Something Gotta Give, Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton were both in the Oscar-nominated epic Reds, which had a truly impressive cast and also included Warren Beatty and Gene Hackman. It is a biographical film about John Reed, an American journalist who attempted to spread socialist values among the American working class. Number 11. Broadcast News 1987. 10 years before As Good as It Gets, James L. Brooks directed Jack Nicholson in another memorable performance in 1987's Broadcast News, though his role was smaller here. Number 10, About Schmidt at 2002. Appropriately enough to one of the Jack Nicholson's last big pre-retirement movie, About Schmidt focuses on difficulties of growing old. He plays a retired insurance salesman whose quiet existence is upended when his wife suddenly dies, forcing him to re-evaluate much of his life, past and possible future without her. Exactly. His wife. Number 9, Easy Rider, 1969. Easy Rider certainly wasn't the first Jack Nicholson role, not even the first great one of his, but it was arguably his breakout role. While Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda played the lead role in his movie about two bikers traveling a great distance to sell drugs, Jack Nicholson steals the show when he appears as a young and carefree lawyer who briefly accompanies the bikers on their journey. Number 8, Terms of Endearment. Known of being one of the most notorious tearjerkers of all time, Terms of Endearment was yet another successful collaboration between James L. Brooks and Jack Nicholson. Like As Good As It Gets, Nicholson also won an Oscar for his role here, playing a retired astronaut named Garrett Bridwell, who has a relationship with Shirley MacLaine's character, Aurora Greenway. Number 7. 5 Easy Pieces, 1970. After being a scene star in 1960s Easy Rider, 5 Easy Pieces was arguably the first great movie that let Jack Nicholson shine in a leading role. Number 6. The Last Detail at 1973. The Last Details is yet another great film Jack Nicholson starred in during 1970s. The loose plot here concerns two men from the Navy being ordered to escort another young man to prison. Though feeling guilty about the whole ordeal, they attempt to give him a memorable send-off journey there before he ultimately has to face prison time. Number 5. Batman, 1989. Ranking as one of the most significant and just all-around best superhero movie of all time, 1989's Batman is fondly remembered for Tim Burton's direction, Michael Keaton's performance as Bruce Wayne or Batman, and Jack Nicholson's over-the-top turn as the Joker, the titular character's most notorious foe. Number 4. Departed. The Departed at 2006. The Departed's up there with the best of the best when it comes to Martin Scorsese's remarkably consistent filmography. It's an intricate and fast-paced crime and thriller movie, following an undercover cop immersing himself in a criminal gang, and the same criminal gang sending one of its members to infiltrate the police force. Number 3. Chinatown at 1974. Standing as one of the best written movie of all time, Chinatown is perhaps the definitive neo-noir film and a high point of Jack Nicholson's career. Number 2. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at 1975. As far as dramas go, few are as effectively moving and dynamic as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was the movie that got Jack Nicholson his first of 3 Oscar wins, with him playing a rebellious patient at the psychiatric hospital named Randy McMurphy, who ends up clashing with the ward's head nurse while inspiring his fellow patients there to become more outspoken. And number 1. The Shining at 1980. Not just one of the greatest films of 1980, but one of the best of the entire 1980s. The Shining is about as iconic as horror movie gets. The plot is simple, one perfectly executed, following a father taking his wife and young son with him while serving as a mysterious hotel's caretaker during the off-season, only for supernatural forces and or psychological torment from the isolation to begin tearing the family apart. Stanley Kubrick was the filmmaker who could master just about any genre he tackled, with The Shining showing how effectively he could execute genuinely terrifying horror. Jack Nicholson sells the madness of his character to an unsettling degree, with his beyond intense performance enabling Jack Torrance to become one of the most famous characters in the history of horror. Thank you to be with us this time with this content about 25 greatest movies of Jack Nicholson. Please be with us. Subscribe this channel, Moviee to You, and leave a comment for free about our content that we published in this channel, and like this channel and all of our videos in past and in present and in future.